Good morning. There is a world we should be following every day to be aware of what's going on in our respective cultures, of the civilization of mankind. It's had many times where it has risen to extraordinary heights and then subsided again. And we need be cognizant of this, aware of this all of the time. Just as much as you and I fluctuate from day to day in the changing environment of our universe, we need to always be evaluating what's going on. What is the pulse of our societies? Something to keep in the back of one's mind as we go about our days, remembering our responsibilities to not only ourselves and our families, our friends, co-workers, communities, but to mankind in general. We need remember that we are one people, one family, on one world, in one solar system. Keeping a perspective, widening our perspective. Remembering we are here to be mindful meditators, to be a being as wise and mature, utilizing one's experience to become and be as good of a human being as we can possibly aspire toward. This is what it means to be here now as a bundle of miracles. That you are acknowledging the greatness inside of oneself, humbled before the immensity of the greater existence of everything that we can conceive of. The immensity is a word that describes this, of creation, of the entirety, that we might have a perspective that helps us broaden our view, our depth of understanding, of virtue, of compassion, of virtue, of empathy, that we might form in our minds better decisions of what's going on, of what we should do, of how we can accomplish our goals. This is the importance of what we are doing. It is life-changing. It is contemplating life's changes on a moment-by-moment basis as best we can. Understanding. It is easy to get lost when one is not educated. We are brought up in a world of ignorance of the capacities, of the potential, of our minds, of our bodies. And being a bundle of miracle that is humbled, we find ourselves in a state of gratitude, considering everything that's just been discussed. We feel thankful. At least we have this opportunity to thrive. At least we have this opportunity to make an attempt to improve ourselves, and so doing, be more worthy as part of a family, part of a group of friends, part of a community in this world we share, stewards of all life, of all resources, of everything. It is not just of other humans. It is in the life that flies through the air, roams under the seas, as well as lives upon the surface we share. It is in everything. Sometimes it is easy to forget we live in a jaded society. Many of us, certainly myself, most of our fellow humans that live in the first or second world, we think of where we get our food, for instance. Where does the food come from? Where do you think? It comes from your local shop, your local supermarket. You go to buy the things that you consume, you eat, you enjoy, that you have been brought up on. Because this has been ongoing for many years, for decades. And it is easy to take for granted. This actually is only a transfer station, so to speak. It is not where the wheat that makes up the bread, or the rolls, or the cookies are made. It is not where these things are processed in plants. It is in the fields where the seeds are sown, where the seedlings are nourished and grown. This is where one's food comes from the earth. We are of the earth, of the air, of the water we drink. This is perspective. This is mindfully considering. We can use the words mindful meditation too. They are all related. We're being flexible. We want to be flexible, yes. Adaptive, yes. And so on. It is not just the wheat from the fields. It is in everything that we consume. Today, everything is grown on farms, more or less, without getting in particulars. Remembering whom we are. Not taking for granted how easy it has become to fill one's stomach with food. It is not this way in many places, although in most places that we think of it is. And yet, remember what you and I are doing every day and being mindful of how much one is consuming. When you open your eyes, we open our eyes. What do you see? Why? Because people are not thinking today as much as they can. Everywhere I go, I see the result of an abundance of food and a lack of thought. I see a lack of physical exercise and thought. I see a lack of thinking and a sense of belligerence, of greed, of grandiose half-truths being believed. and disseminated. It is even more important today that we are aware of what we individually are doing in our own unique ways. We can foster a sense in others of possibilities, of potential for what they can be by looking at you, finding inside of oneself your spark of life, your continuity, your warmth, your shimmering majesty, finding as you breathe, as your chest rises and subsides, as your heart beats, one's unique cadence of life, finding this miracle of life growing in one's self-realization of just what this all means, of one's responsibility to be nurturing one's very own being, following as you remember your breath, your pulse, and the majesty of one's own shimmering, ecstatic life energy flowing in this awareness. It's easy to do. Be aware simultaneously of your breath, of your pulse. You need nothing else than this. Of your shimmer, your vibration, your quivering majesty of being alive. This is millions and millions of years old. Please, don't take oneself for granted. You really are a bundle of miracles. Glow with the realization that you are emanating heat. You are glowing with energy. This is the truth. Accepting, being receptive to what is, what one's potential can be. It is a sense of awareness we're talking about. I'm not suggesting one need go to Mount Everest to get closer to godliness. It is already inside of each of us. It is. One need only be aware and wake up to the majesty of our shared creation. And by so doing, shining. Yes, shining in one's own grace of self-revelation, illumination. This is what you want. This is what I want. One's own self-realization. You hear these words. Be these words. Namaste.